All right, so then this second story that I thought was interesting, warming overload, okay? And there's been some people on this group, this group that doesn't believe in global warming, or doesn't believe in climate change, or doesn't believe that man. First it was, they were saying there's no such thing. There's some of them still saying it. You know, that it's just a natural occurrence, and in fact, the planet's not getting warmer. They say that the ice cap, the satellite photos show that the polar ice cap is in fact larger, but they don't factor in that it's much thinner, okay? They don't talk about the thickness. And so it's misleading, you know? When you had something that was really thick, but it becomes thin and spread out, that's not good. So, as far as my concern, you know, people know, I mean, I'll tell you that I believe that man affects his environment, and it could very well be dumping too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, besides methane and other things, greenhouse gases, is affecting the planet. And when people say man is too insignificant to affect his environment, they're wrong. What is mankind since they discovered fire has been trying to change their environment. That's what we do. And you know, and it used to be the thinking, the sea is so vast that we can never have an effect on it. But as the planet's population of humans grew, we know that there's areas of the ocean that are overfished. You know, the resources of the ocean is not infinite, you know, and many people have come to understand that. I mean, the signs are showing there. And, you know, as far as dumping our garbage in and all that, I mean, it reaches its limits. And, what was I going to say? So, and there's some people out there that say our supply of oil is infinite. That we'll never run out of oil. And another thing is that there's some people that keep talking about our dependence on oil. It's like man got by for thousands of years without using petroleum products. It isn't going to kill us as a human race. And besides, we have technology now that we can make plastics from so many different things. You know, plastics come from from petroleum products. But the reason why we use oil for that is because it was so darn cheap. And as it becomes more scarce, and I don't believe there's an unlimited supply. I don't believe that the planet is making more oil. You know, it's such a slow process that we're using it up, you know, faster. I mean, that's why they call it fossil fuels. It takes thousands and thousands of years, all right? So, and there's these people, it's a mentality. But as oil becomes more expensive, then it's going to make economical sense to use hemp or other naturally occurring things like waste products from corn to make plastics and other things that oil used to do. In fact, they've come up with synthetic oil. I know it's expensive, but you know, it can be done. And it's sort of like this transition from the horse and buggy days to the era of the automobile. There were people that were naysayers that say, oh, you know, horses are so important. The economy won't stand up without horses, you know, and there was resistance to the change. Well, we're sort of reaching that point again where there's going to have to be some major changes. Okay, back to this article about carbon overload. So some of these people that are accepting, oh, okay, more carbon in the atmosphere. Oh, it's a natural occurring, you know, substance, you know, is that we breathe out carbon dioxide. It's good for plants. Okay, that's a lot of arguments they say. It's good for plants. More carbon dioxide will be more growth. But this is interesting that, yes, the plants may grow more, maybe, but it says they've shown that too much carbon dioxide, which plants need for energy, actually can inhibit a plant's ability to assimilate nitrates, which are nitrogen-based nutrients pulled from the soil that the plants use to make enzymes and other essential proteins. So if the planet has an overabundance of CO2, food quality may suffer. So our crops and stuff will become less nutritious. We won't get as much value out of our food. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting. They're trying to like paint this like, oh, carbon dioxide, it's not a poison. Like what I say to these people, I worked in a welding shop. And a MIG welding machine, we used it to a carbon dioxide shield. Okay, we had these big bottles of carbon dioxide. And sometimes I'd be using carbon dioxide for another reason. You know, welding a gas tank is very, very dangerous. But one way you get around it is you purge the inside of the gas tank with, I mean, you try to get as much gasoline out as you can, but there's always a little bit, and you risk a really devastating explosion. But when it welded on gas tanks, we would purge the inside of the gas tank, we'd fill it full of CO2. And in the beginning, we started with dry ice, but then later got smart and started using the CO2 bottle. And I'd take that hose and take a little whiff. Oh, man! You know, I'd get that feeling when, you know, the bubbles in soda pop go up your nose? It's like that. And too much, you know, to human beings, it's a poison. You know, we need a little bit. We can't breathe pure oxygen. True. You know, that's the way, but that's the way our bodies are adjusted. But you can't, too much carbon dioxide is a bad thing for humans and apparently for plants too. You know, and sometimes I just wanted to say, when I talk about the left and the right, you know, some people say, oh, there's no right, there's no left. It's all, you know, they're all puppets by the corporations. Yes, corporations control a lot of stuff. I'm not a political scientist. I'm not a, you know, political science major or anything, but I have sat in a few science classes. And one thing you see in science is the need, the drive to quantify and categorize, okay? You know, like genealogy, like what group is this plant in? What group is this animal in? You know, mammals, reptiles, that's classifying. That's separating the groups. And in order to talk about anything, we need to agree on definitions. There has to be the proper word. You know, I mean, the idea that there's no right or no left could apply when you look at the big picture. There's no up or down, there's no north or south or east or west, because in outer space, in a galaxy, in terms of the universe, there is no up or down or right or left or north or south or east or west. But these are made up things that help us navigate, you know, longitude and latitude. Those are things that mankind made up in order to help us navigate. So we're going to navigate discussions on politics. We need to agree on some terms. You know, authoritarianism and liberalism or libertarian and, you know, right and left, you know. And so I just have to say that because I get a lot of people say, oh, there's no such thing as right or left or, you know, la la la. So yeah, you can believe there's no such thing as up or down or whatever. That's fine. But you and I can't have a discussion, you know. And so for me, there's definitely categories of where people fit in. And I know people, for some people, it's a natural reaction to not want to be pigeonholed or labeled or identified. But that's not scientific. All right, I've talked way too much. You know what? We're going to go back to tea, I think. Because it's meandering. My thoughts aren't as focused as well as they could be. Did I cover everything? I believe I did. So, I'm going to end this. Thanks for watching my Fez Fetish. And hopefully I'll see you next week. Have a great week. The Citizen Kong signing off. Cheers.